Hello there, welcome to Speaking of Business. I'm your host, Nancy Boyle, and today we're going to be honoring the accomplishments of some of the local businesses in our area. Joining me on the first half of our show are Stephanie Royal with the Florida Small Business Development Center at UNF, and Willie Gonzalez, who's the, I'm going to get this wrong, Director of the U.S. Small Business Administration for Northeast Florida. So welcome.
Got it right.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I always seem to flub it, so I apologize. Anyway, welcome, Willie and Stephanie.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your being here today. And Stephanie, I'm going to start with you, ladies first. Tell us a little bit about what you do at the Small Business Development Center.
I'm the Director of Marketing at the Small Business Development Center, and of course we help businesses grow and succeed. We want them to flourish, and that's what we do.
Okay. And Willie, you are a key component in our economy here in Jacksonville. So tell us a little bit about what you do at SBA.
Well, the Small Business Administration, the North Florida office handles 43 counties, Orange County, north into the Panhandle. We do 3 C's: access to capital, helping people to gain access to capital. The third C is for contracting. We show people how to sell their service or product to the federal government. And the third C is the one that SBDC handles with many of the other resource partners, SCORE, Women's Business Center, the Chambers, Beaver Street, and that is providing counseling to many small businesses. The fourth thing that we do, and it's only 4 things that we do, those 3 are the C's, but the fourth I tell people I hope you never come to me for, and that's disaster relief.
Sure.
And in fact, as we speak, I just got a call from one of my staff who's in Fort Walton Beach, and he can't get out. The bridges are down, but he was out there visiting, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of disaster loan requests as a result of what's happening out in the western part of Florida. So those are the 4 items that we deal with.
Okay. And Stephanie, let's go back to you because you're sort of the queen of Small Business Week and the Small Business Week celebration. So let's talk a little bit about that because that's what we're here today to talk about is the accomplishments of the small businesses in our community and as well the lenders who, through the assistance of the SBA, are helping to fund the accomplishments. So.
Right. This is actually the 22nd year that we've done this here in Jacksonville. So we have a long history of celebrating the success of our local businesses and lenders and supporters and advocates. It's just a really great time to spotlight those successful stories and have some good news and see the great things that are going on here in North Florida. So we take a day and we celebrate them and we highlight them and we really just celebrate their accomplishments.
Okay, and we're going to be talking to some of our local award winners on the second half of the show. But let's talk about the event itself, okay? And tell us a little bit about what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, etc.
The event will be held on May 22nd at the University of North Florida, Herbert University Center. We have a keynote speaker named Joe Abraham, and he's the author of a book called Entrepreneurial DNA, and he's done years of research into kind of what makes an entrepreneur tick. And so he'll be giving our keynote presentation, as well as he's doing a session in the morning to really dive in deep and to take into consideration that your DNA, what makes up your entrepreneurial self and how it defines your weaknesses and your strengths and how you can improve the weaknesses and really highlight the strengths and also the people that you deal with in business. So he'll do a real dive in deep in the morning, and then of course in the luncheon he'll give his keynote, and then we hand out our awards. I think we have 3 or 4 winners that we're highlighting this year, and of course our lenders here in North Florida who have done a great job of really helping our businesses start and grow through their lending.
Okay, and Willie, I want to talk to you a little bit about the awards, because the SBA is actually the ones who determine who wins the awards, and I know a lot of people submit applications or nomination forms for businesses. So can you kind of walk us through the, the process that's involved in coming up with the winners?
Yes, every year prior to Small Business Week, we prepare ourselves by identifying those that should be recognized in various aspects of business. And what's done is, in conjunction with the SBDC and with other resource partners, put together a panel. They then take applications. The word goes out for people to nominate. Those then nominations are reviewed and the determination is made. We have what are called the district winners, which is the district that I spoke about earlier, 43 counties. And then the winners from my district then go into competition with the South Florida District Office, which is Osceola County South, and they're located in Miami. And then a determination is made as to the state winner.
Okay.
The state winners then are sent forward to the Atlanta Regional Office, which is Region 4, which I'm a part of, and that's composed of 8 states. So we're talking about Mississippi, Alabama, South and North Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and of course Florida. They then make a determination as to who the regional winner is. And if you are a regional winner, then, and there are 10 regions in the country, then those get sent forward to Washington, D.C., so that during Small Business Week celebration in Washington, they are recognized on a national level, and they actually choose the national winner. And in years past, and hopefully this year, we can never guarantee it, but the awards are done at the White House.
Oh, wow.
And it's a big thing, with the president.
It's quite an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the things that you're looking for, or SBA is looking for, in candidates?
Well, we look for people, one, they're successful.
Yes,
They're
of course.
successful, but that have demonstrate the drive necessary, the entrepreneurial drive, that they have good a good company in place in terms of its day-to-day management. It could be showing us that they're very good in marketing outreach, they're very good at delivery of services, that there are accolades made by people who receive their services or products and say that they delivered on time, quality, work has been performed, and so those are all the aspects. Certainly good character, but I think personally I think that what we look for is the ability for the person to demonstrate that they have that entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay. Now, there are also some champion awards, correct?
Yes.
Or advocate, champion awards, I guess.
Right.
So what are some of the things that we're looking for in the champions, either?
Well, the SBA selects them, so
Okay.
but it's like you said, the entrepreneurial spirit, that support, that giving back, and but
Kind of
of
going
course,
above and beyond?
yes, but of course he knows more than I do.
Right. There are individuals or companies, but we recognize the individual as advocates in the area of finance because they've been very helpful with providing financial services to small businesses, marketing. They've provided services, just in general, the kinds of items that an advocate does in trying to help someone else to proceed with their business. So we do recognize a certain amount of those folks.
Okay. And in addition to the champions and certainly the small business leader, we're also going to be recognizing some of the local lenders for the loans that they make. So do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that? Because it seems like everybody's having kind of a record year.
Yes, well, I have the list of lenders here. We have, what we do is we determine a lender by the number of loans and of course the dollar amount. Wells Fargo, for instance, has been recognized this year. We have certified development companies which deal with with 504 loans, and they deal with heavy equipment and property. By dollar amount, and Florida First Capital Finance is receiving, or has received the award, been notified. Also, the Florida Business Development Corporation, in terms of number of loans, so that we make a distinction between number of loans and dollar amounts.
Okay.
Top first mortgage lender was Regions Bank. Community bank lender by dollar amount was CBC National Bank. The community bank lender by number of loans was Bank First, and the veterans loans lender was Wells Fargo. We do have a highly competitive field amongst the lenders. They all want to be recognized.
Of course.
And I get that, especially right after the award ceremony, where lenders will come to me and say, next year I want to be up on the dais receiving this award. So it's very competitive.
So then you say, okay, get out there.
Exactly.
Find those good businesses to lend some money
Exactly.
to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are there any other programs that you're doing that we should share with our audience?
Well, I think we're not that I think, I know we're pushing exports.
Okay.
And you folks are involved. In fact, Jan Donaldson from the SBDC is on the committee that the city is hosting this group that is promoting exports, but also hub zones, making sure that hub zone areas are getting their fair share of services. And let's see, I've got a list here, but Veterans Business Outreach, we're pushing that. So there's just a bunch. I take up your whole program by going
We
through
might
it,
have to
but-
have you back, and we'll get
Exactly.
into the details on that. Stephanie, before we go to break, how about the who, what, why, when, where of the event?
May 22nd at the Adam Herbert University Center at UNF.
Great.
The event will start at 9:30, but the luncheon will start at 11:30. And to register, you can call 904-620-2476 or spdc.unf.edu/smallbusinessweek.
Okay.
We're happy to have them.
Okay, great. Well, I want to thank you both for being here. And don't go away, because we've got some winners we're going to talk to. So we'll be right back.
Excuse me, ma'am. May we help you cross?
Well, that would be lovely, boys.
Scouting, where character counts.
Oh, I think I forgot my purse up there.
Welcome back to Speaking of Business. Today we're talking about the upcoming annual Small Business Week celebrations, honoring those local businesses who've done an outstanding job of growing their businesses. So joining me on the second half are some of our award winners. Pat Blanchard with the Jacksonville Women's Business Center.
Thank you, Nancy.
Carlton Smith with Heavy Equipment Resources
Of Florida.
of Florida, Inc. And Amir Varshovi with Green Technologies. So I want to welcome all of
Thank
you.
you, Nancy.
And thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm kind of just going to go down the row, if it's okay.
Sure.
And Amir, let me start with you, and because you've won the Small Business Leader of the Year award this year.
Yes.
So tell us about what you do, what your business is about, and we'll kind of get to know each other.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity. Green Technologies is a manufacturing of fertilizer from renewable sources. We have a patented process that we developed a decade ago, and we remove nutrients from water treatment process and turn it into a environmentally friendly, slow-release fertilizers for consumer use and also for professional use of fertilizing the plants.
Excellent. I just had my lawn done, and they put on their green, we're
Edge?
using green products. I don't know if it was Green Edge, but I'm going to have to go back and check that. So, Pat?
I am the director of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. We've been here 10 years serving Northeast Florida. We are a program of the Jacks Chamber Foundation, and we're funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. So our focus is advancing the success of women entrepreneurs at every stage of business development.
Okay, and congratulations.
Thank you.
On winning the Women's Business Center Excellence
Excellence Award for not only the North Florida District, but also for the state of
Well,
Florida.
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
Carlton, last but certainly not least, tell us about what you do in your organization.
I'm the Vice President of Heavy Equipment Resources of Florida, Hero FL for short. Customers refer us as Hero.
Okay.
We're a sourcing company that specializes in exporting heavy equipment and spare parts all over the world, mostly Caterpillar and Komatsu and stuff like that.
I know. I had your dad on the show several years ago
Yeah.
and just loved the idea of taking somebody else's used equipment and fixing it up and selling it.
That's
in the
exactly
market.
what we do.
Yes. So, and congratulations, you're the Exporter of the Year award winner.
Thank you so much.
So, you guys have all won awards. You're all being recognized for excellence in your businesses. So let's talk a little bit about what tips you might have for somebody out there in the world who isn't quite as far along as you. So again, we'll just kind of go down that line if that's okay. Amir, any tips that you might have for budding entrepreneurs in our audience?
Well, certainly one of the first things that comes to mind is if you have an idea and there is many opportunities to develop that idea into actually business. There's many resources that every entrepreneur should actually seek and utilize, starting with the Small Business Development Centers and SBA. I remember back over a decade ago, that was one of the first things we did. We went and participated in a workshop. How do you start a business?
Ah, good. We like to hear that.
So I think it's very critical. Especially most entrepreneurs don't have any actually business experience. So that would be the first and the most important thing that I could think of.
Okay. And Pat, you're
Okay.
a little bit different
We're-
because
right.
you're the resource.
I am the resource for women business owners. And so what I like to encourage women who are in the seven-county area is to certainly investigate the Women's Business Center first as a resource, because we work with both those who have an idea, want to cultivate that into a business, or those that have an existing business and want to take their business to the next level. And we do that with a variety of programs and services, but they start with me in terms of the counseling and then the action steps that direct them either through a resource partner like the Small Business Development Center or the SBA, or even PTAC. Certainly we have programs under the Entrepreneurial Growth Division of the Jacks Chamber. So I like to say, come to me first if you're a women entrepreneur, whether you have an idea or whether you have an existing business, and let me help create that roadmap for you.
Well, and that's what's the beauty of the resources
Yeah.
that you and I are, is that we can sit down with the individual, Amir, Carlton, or whomever, and look at that person and what that person needs, wants, where they want to go, and then filter them accordingly. I think that's one of the beauty of Jacksonville is that we have such a collaborative environment of resource providers.
exactly.
So, Carlton.
If I could give a tip to a business owner or entrepreneur is if you have a product or a service, then look into exporting it, because that just brings in a whole different avenue to bring in money. If you're able to do it here in Jacksonville or in the United States, then you can do it all over the world. In my opinion, it's the toughest. You have all the competitors here. Over there, they want to see what the U.S. product's all about. They want to do business with U.S. firms. So if you have a product, export it.
Let's talk about exporting a minute. You know, we heard Willie talking a little bit earlier about the emphasis is to encourage businesses to export. And Amir, if you're not doing it yet, people will be encouraging you to someday do that.
We are.
So, and feel free to chime in on this. So what were some of the challenges then that your company kind of faced in getting started? You know, it's one thing once you've been doing it for a while,
Right.
you know, you kind of get how to do it.
Right.
But in the beginning, it can be a little daunting.
It is daunting. I mean, we started as a landscape company and contracting company that we still have today, but we kind of shift gears when the economy kind of went into the tank. So we went to an Export 101 class that was put on by the Chamber and Jacksport, and there's a couple other agencies that helped out with the 101 class, and we decided that we wanted to export. I didn't know if we were going to export shovels or rakes, seeing that we were in the landscape business. My father, the president of the company, said we're going to export heavy equipment because he has a similar background with the construction side. So we started exporting heavy equipment. And the challenges that we face now, as opposed to the beginning, is it's even things that we can't even control, like fluctuations of say commodities or fluctuations in currencies. For example, we do business in South Africa a lot. When we started, it was 8 Rand to $1 US. So now it's 12 Rand to $1 US. So it's a little bit harder for them to buy from us as it was a few years back. When gold prices are through the roof, well, so is the orders from the mines to us. Well, when it's down, it's not. So we've got to constantly keep our finger on the pulse, but it might not necessarily be things that we can control. So those are the challenges that we're facing actually today.
Okay. And Amir, since you are also exporting, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience with that?
In fact, I could also look at exporting, especially more and more these days for many businesses, because there's tremendous opportunities out there. And we started a couple of years ago, in fact, taking the same course at SBDC. And we won a small grant award for export marketing plan.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we started, exporting, although our focus initially was closer to Florida, which we are a Florida company, Central and South America, and we are getting more and more interest from other regions.
Okay.
So absolutely, if we can do it here, we can actually do it anywhere.
Which is the sentiment.
Perfect.
Well, and really, I mean, at one point in the evolution of the U.S., your competitor was down the street, and then maybe they were, in the next county or across the country. Now they're anywhere.
Right.
And so that's kind of the beauty of global. You've got a website, and they don't know if you're, one-person operation or if you're 500.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So, and now let's move to Pat. Let's talk about women business owners.
Yes.
And what are some of the challenges that you're seeing with your clients?
Well, one of the things that just came out was a phenomenal study by the U.S. Chamber Foundation that I have here in front of me. But it talks about women-owned businesses are going to be carving out the new business landscape in the United States because of the growth. It's the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurs. That's the good part. The not so good part is some of the information that women entrepreneurs either don't know or don't have easy access to. So programs for government contracting, the Importing and Exporting Initiative, Boots to Business, which supports women veterans. These are some of the great things that have been coming out to support the success of women entrepreneurs and the things that they are finding as a challenge. We've learned that leadership skills, access to capital, and generally speaking, entrepreneurial education is one of the areas that women business owners find missing, whether it's here in Northeast Florida or whether it's around the country. And so the 100+ women centers that support women entrepreneurs are in the trenches providing those things that give them an equal level playing field to be successful.
Okay. Now let's kind of go back to the awards, and let's talk a little bit about what you think, each of you thinks, you did or your company did to achieve this recognition. Carlton, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. Well, for us, we're a small outfit. It's like you said, you don't know if you're 1 or 500. Well, for us, it's 3. Sometimes we bring in 3 to 5 people at any given time. And so it's a collective team operation with us. It's not necessarily because I won the award. But it's, to be honest with you, it's just a lot of hard work. We've really put a lot into this. We've really just kept the faith in what we're doing, and that's just got to us where we are today and this great achievement. So we're pretty excited about it.
Okay. Pat.
It certainly is a team, and it's a comprehensive team. Not only those of us in the Women's Business Center and the Entrepreneurial Growth Division, but the resource partners that help support. 7 counties, when you think about it, is a pretty big footprint for women entrepreneurs, and so we use all of the resources that we can in order to reach them and support them. We've been serving for 10 years, as I indicated, and just roughly over 14,000 women have used our services in some capacity. So again, getting the message out, but also helping them pick the right program that's going to be the advantage for her, help train her. We see, again, most women are caught up in the doing part of the business, but not really comfortable with running a business. And so those skills that we try to teach and support are the key things that we find. And to be recognized for the excellence in the entire state has just been a great, great team effort. And I'm just happy that I've been able to leverage that team effort to bring us to this stage.
Okay, Amir.
Well, I certainly am humbled and very excited, and at the same time, it is a group effort. It is a team effort, starting with business partners, customers, SBDC, SBA, those institutions, and as well as the hard work of all the employees. We are also a small business, but at the same time, it is a collective effort that would actually make us successful.
Okay. Back about, what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when the economy was getting kind of dicey. And I think Hero is a pretty good example of that. And what we saw, and probably Pat, what you saw, things are getting tough. And you had two kinds of business owners. You had the kind that went, oh my God, you know, the sky is falling, and they curl up under a rug and, oh well. And then you had others, like all of you guys are, that said, uh-oh, we need to think about doing something a little different. In your case, exporting. I don't know if that's when you started expanding, Amir, but clearly that's why you're here today, is because you said you didn't buy into the hype that the sky is falling. So before we run out of time, very quickly, what do you see for your future, Carlton?
Well, for us, it's expansion. Like I said earlier, we're a small outfit. I want to get a little bit more employees under our belt so we can hit a couple different continents that we're not in currently right now. But I see things starting to gain steam here on the U.S. side, which then trickles down to the rest of the world. So the money's going to be out there a little bit more than it was where everybody was holding their purse strings a few years back. So expansion for us.
Well, I don't anticipate that we will see less women, but actually more, because again, we're finding that most women who have left corporate America, either because of, you know, their retirement age, but they still want to do something, are seeking us out, and we know it's their time now, so we anticipate that the mentoring and counseling programs are going to continue to increase and grow.
Okay.
We are a growing company, and our growth is based on innovating new process and products from renewable sources. We see opportunities. In fact, we are expanding into Central Florida as a manufacturer of the product, as well as providing service to the utilities, wastewater and water treatment plants. So export also is a part of this growth, definitely, but one of the things that is important for us as a manufacturer is to be able to produce products cost effectively and also continue innovate in process and product development.
And environmentally
Absolutely.
friendly products.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to congratulate all of you once again. Carlton Smith,
Thank you.
Hero, Florida,
Yes,
Exporter of the Year. Pat Blanchard,
Thank you,
Jacksonville
Nancy.
Women Business Center,
Yes.
the Women's Business Center Excellence Award,
Yes.
and Amir Varshovy, the Small Business Leader of the Year. So I want to congratulate you all. You have all worked very hard to achieve these awards. So
Thank you so much.
congratulations
Thank you.
on
Appreciate
that.
it. Thank you, Nancy.
And for you in the audience, May 22nd, mark your calendars. In the morning, there'll be a workshop. Joe Abraham, who's written Entrepreneurial DNA, will be there to talk to you about your entrepreneurial DNA. And he will also be the keynote speaker at the luncheon. So for more information, you can call 620-2476, or you can visit the Small Business Development Center's website at sbdc.unf/Small Business Week. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for
in the
having us.
audience, thank you for joining us today. And come back next time when we'll be speaking of business. Bye now.